gentlemen, coming live from social media marketing world, I've got the amazing Ian Anderson Gray. What? You guys, he is absolutely amazing. I don't know if you know this, but when I first started live streaming and I had trouble with OBS Studio, who was the guy that I called on? Ian. No joke. What did you think about OBS Studio?
That's a great question. Well, it's how I got started with live video, and I sold a course that did really well, so it got me into live video and actually got me speaking about live video. And so, yeah, I love it from that point of view. But, yeah, it was tough, wasn't it? I mean, it's at the time, it was really one of the only platforms to allow you to go live to Facebook, and yeah, it was a bit stressful for a lot of people. So I'm glad we've moved on from that.
I know. we did the best that we possibly could with the resources that we had. And I always tell people that OBS Studio is like the IKEA of live streaming because you have to build it and you don't necessarily get all of the instructions. All right. So for those of you who don't know the amazing Ian Anderson Gray, he is the founder of Confident Live Marketing Academy, where he teaches you, yes, you, on how to be absolutely stunning on stage and on camera. Am I right or am I right?
You are right. Because a lot of people are not confident. There's the stress of getting in front of this thing called a camera, which it's a bit of an energy sucker. I mean, would you say? You start and then your energy like drains away, and you end up like the shell. Or that could be the case, or that's the worry.
Yeah.
And I help people to get over that.
Oh, I love that. Okay, and it's funny because when people look at the camera, all of a sudden they're like, oh no, it's this thing that's looking at me. But when you actually have a live audience, you actually get that feedback, that energy, and you could just go back and forth. So when you're looking at an inanimate object, you're just like,
yeah. Well, I don't know how you feel about this, Stephanie, but when I first started doing live video, I found it much more stressful and difficult than getting in. I would almost prefer to get in front of a 1,000 people because you get the energy back. Yes. Whereas with a camera, there's no energy. It feels like kind of what we're doing at the moment. It's easier because we're talking to each other.
Yes.
But if I was on my own, it kind of feels a little bit weird. Or to begin with, but as you do more and more and more, it does get easier and it gets more normal.
It does. It really does get normal. You kind of get used to it. And it's funny because my husband would always walk by my office and it looks like I'm talking to myself. And I'm like, no. Really, there's comments floating on the screen. Like, I know what's going on.
You mean you don't talk to yourself normally?
Kind of. Shh, don't tell them. Okay. All right. So, Ian, what is your number one tip on how people can actually get confident in front of the camera?
Oh, well, it's really hard to give just one. But, I mean, I would say just get on with it. Just do it. I mean, Instagram stories is a great way, I think, to get practiced with doing. That's how I started. They're 15 seconds long. I know this is not live video, but just getting in front of the camera and showing yourself and being consistent doing that on a regular basis. And then am I allowed a second one?
Yes.
Do you
want a second one? I want a second one.
I trained as a professional singer. That's my background. So maybe I have this in my blood, but I think actually warming up your body and your voice before you go live.
What do you do?
If you have we should do some stretching exercises. So stretching up, it's a bit difficult with a microphone, but stretching up to the ceiling, like you kind of do if you go to the gym, and then just wiggle around, get rid of any of that tension. Another really good thing is to tense your shoulders up like this. So like, and then just relax them. So just really relaxing your body, because there's nothing worse if you're a little bit stressed getting started and you're like this and you go, hello.
Oh my God. That's actually a really good tip, because there's this one time where I was speaking on stage and I looked like I had a humpback because I was just like, okay, I'm going to do it. So I like that.
So it's putting your shoulders down, your chest out, and just open up and actually making, if you get your posture right, if you look confident, it actually makes you feel more confident. It's like a loop. So that's really, really important. And then the final thing is warming up your voice. So, you don't have to be a singer. It's nothing to do with that, but it's using the lows and the highs in your voice. So going like this. Just or something like that. Because there's nothing worse than, I don't know if you've ever had any guests on your show who speak on a monotone like this. So hi, Stephanie. How are you today?
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. I will not honestly say that.
I wasn't asking you to name and shame, but yeah, it's and because the camera is an energy sucker, even if you start going, hello, I'm really excited to be on the show, and by the end of it, you're speaking like this.
Aww.
So you've got to keep the energy going all the way through.
Yeah, I love that. So that's everything that you do before you start a show?
Well, there's a confidence side of things. There's obviously the tech thing. So you've got to have a checklist. I mean, I'm sure we could talk about disasters a lot,
Yes.
And actually, if you haven't had a disaster, I think that is because you haven't been going live regularly enough. You need to keep doing it. You need to learn from your mistakes. I still make mistakes.
Yes.
I'm sure you don't. But
no, we make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. I
Yeah.
think that actually that's what makes us be a little bit more human and more relatable.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And people forgive you. I mean, if you keep on making the same mistake, that's not good. But that's where checklists come in. You know, I'm a great believer in treating myself like a complete idiot. And I learned this from singing on stage, because when you sing on stage, it's amazing what happens in the brain. The brain can do weird things, and you forget the most simple things. So sometimes I would write down on the music like 1, 2, 3, 4, because I'd forget to count.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to live video, you've got all this stuff to think about. You've got your plan, you've got all this kind of stuff. So just write everything down that you need to do.
Yes.
Switch on the microphone. Check your internet speed. Make sure you've got good internet speed.
Yes.
Speedtest.net is really good for that.
Always.
Check your audio. Do a test live before you go live.
Yes.
All those kind of things.
See, that's helpful. I think most people, they think that if I go live, it has to be on my business page. But you could do so many things. You could create a private Facebook group. You could go live in that group and how are my audio levels? Because the camera that I use is a DSLR, but I also use it for events. So sometimes I switch the settings, and again, having a checklist is going to be super helpful for that.
Yeah, definitely. And sometimes, we talk a lot about video, but the audio is really important. People can't hear you. You
repurpose yours into a podcast, don't you?
I do, and I wouldn't recommend this necessarily for everyone, because you've got to structure the show you've got to be really careful how you structure the show. But I do it in a way, so I have a bit of a fun thing at the beginning, bit of a pre-show thing, bit informal, and then we get into the main section of the show, which we then I repurpose into the podcast, and then I put a beginning and end, I have a little silly theme tune, which this is Andrew and Pete's idea.
Ooh.
I have to blame them. They said, why don't you sing a little theme tune for every single podcast? I thought, no, that is complete nuts. And I do. I managed to do that every time we have a little theme tune at the beginning of each podcast.
Oh, I love that.
So it's fun.
That's
so
brilliant.
repurposing. So I say to people, I'm a recovering perfectionist, and live video is great because it's not going to be perfect, and it allows you to create content quickly and easily.
That's awesome. I am going to take a look real quick at the comments, right? Because Ian deserves. Do you want some water? Would you like some water?
I'm okay. I've hydrated myself. That's another thing.
Yes.
Hydration is really important. Make sure you drink. Hot water is a really good thing just before you go.
All right. So we've got Juan Santiago. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yes. And then Parlor Jones says more cowbell. Do you know how to make a cowbell
what?
noise? More cowbell. Donk, donk.
No, I don't. You're going to have to teach me.
Martin says that Ian can help me conquer my energy and my confidence in getting into Facebook Live.
Martin. Well, Martin is a special guy because I met him in London at the conference, and he was. I hope you don't mind me sharing this, Martin.
Go for it.
He speaks all around the world. He's a very, very successful speaker. But when it came to live video, he had this block. Just pressing the button. It was, and I can identify with this. I just I didn't go live for a whole month because I was worried. I was worried about my background and my camera wasn't good enough. And then I realized, actually, you know what? I'm just scared about going live.
Ooh.
And so with Martin, we just helped him just to press that go live button, and now you can't stop him. He's awesome. So you definitely need to follow Martin.
Yes, and Martin wouldn't have been able to have done it unless he had the most amazing live streaming coach. So for those of you that want to learn more about Ian Anderson Gray, where should they find you?
Go to my website, iag.me, iag.me, and you can check out the podcast, the Confident Live Marketing Podcast, because we have a lot of fun on that. In fact, why haven't you been on my show?
Oh my God, I would love.
I don't know how on earth has that happened. So
we're gonna make that happen. Okay, so before I let you go, we're gonna go ahead and promote an upcoming live streaming summit that we have with Ecamm. So I'm gonna let Glenn roll that, and then we're gonna take a nice sip of water. And we're back. Okay, so Ian, you are speaking here at Social Media Marketing World, is that right?
I am.
When?
I'm really
When is
excited.
it? What's it about?
It's tomorrow at 2, I want to say 2:30, but I think it's 2:40.
Okay.
And it's here in the
Content Stage B.
Content Stage A, I think, isn't it? Or is it B?
That one's B.
Is that B? Anyway, it's here somewhere. And I'm talking about, I should know these things. You need to tell me what I'm doing.
Yes.
And I'm speaking about live video, about how to produce an engaging live video show. We're going to be talking about the confidence with well, the three main barriers that people struggle with. It's either the content marketing sphere, the getting in front of the camera, so it's the live video fear, and then it's the tech and gear. I hope you impressed that those rhyme.
Yes.
Yeah.
How long did that take you?
A long time. I needed help. But yeah, it's great. It's great.
Okay,
So,
cool. So if you are here at the conference at Social Media Marketing World, you can find him in the Whova app. Just go ahead and type in Ian Anderson Gray. You can find him there. If you're not there, go ahead and still go to his website, iag.me.
that's right.
That's right. Oh, God. Yes. Boom. All right, you guys. Well, we will go ahead and wrap this up. Again, if you want to follow Ian, you could also, you're on Twitter too, right?
I am on Twitter. Yeah.
What is it? IAGDOT me.
It is.
Yeah,
I'm
so
impressed.
good.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And we are going to have more people lined up on Ecamm Live, this network channel today. So stay tuned, and we'll see you next time. All right, bye, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.